to find out who we are. We look up to the sky to find out who we are. We embark on this ride to find out who we are. We look up to the sky to realize nothing can stop us, nothing can stop us. We can touch the sky. Nothing can stop us, nothing can stop us. We can touch the find out who we are. We look up to the sky to find out who we are. We embark on this ride to find out who we are. We look up to the sky to find out who we are. We embark on this ride to find out who we are. We look up to the sky to find out who we are. That's all we pray. Always okay. Moments of joy. A world to enjoy. what's wrong. We are the light, no, we're shining like no other, like diamonds in the rough. We found our way to colors, now we're never gonna give it up. We're never gonna give it up, no, we're never gonna give it up. We love our world of color. We are the light, no, like diamonds in the rough. Come follow me, I'll show you the side of the world, the places that you've never seen. Come follow me, come follow me, I'll show you the side of yourself, the person that you've always been, but never dreamed.
motherfucking trailer.
Would you like to see Gorosaurus versus Man, the solo trilogy from Toho? No, I would not, because nobody gives a shit about those two monsters. So let's be real, honestly. With the exception of a handful of Toho monsters, a lot of them really suck.
To stop the motherfucking lie.
Look at this guy's got glasses. Oh, it's a sophisticated zombie.
I heard Rodan's in here. I don't know if I don't know if I missed him.
I missed Rodan. On top of the volcano, I missed Rodan. Flying over the water, I missed Rodan. He's been confirmed, established 2014, right here on E.T.N motherfucking N. I have only ever loved one woman. And it ain't you, bitch. Poof. Bye-bye. Have a nice trip. See you next fall, because winter's coming.
I figured, I thought it was pretty good. I thought I liked it. I enjoyed it. And number one is Godzilla. Godzilla?
Motherfucker. Motherfucking trailer. All right. This should be interesting. Got a lot of excited people out there. I get it. I completely get it. It's an exciting time. And we are going to do some speculation. Okay? I'm just hoping we keep it within the parameters of what we got. And maybe go a little overboard. Just a little bit. Not too much. Because it's getting crazy out there. It's getting a little crazy. And yeah. How's everybody doing tonight? All right. So just so you guys know, heads up. The New York Knicks play tonight. I am a Knicks fan. I will be watching that game. So this will not be, although I said this the other day too, and it still ended up being a 2-hour stream. But we're not going to have a full stream tonight. Probably an hour and a half. But, all right. Just bear with me here, because I was listening over my, I was listening over to my stream the other day, and I was like, wow, that's really low. I mean, that's really, like, quiet. So we're gonna have a little BR music. So, okay. All right. So
let me start with this, okay? Now I got a tweet today from J Dog. Now I know who J Dog is. I don't know if he's in tonight's stream, but he comes to the streams fairly frequently, and he but this is where we're at with some of this. All right, now this isn't on him. This was a friend of his that made this. Let me see if I can find it here. All right. So his buddy tweeted that maybe there was a destroyer carcass in the let me lower this a little more. It feels like it's coming on too loud. Okay. So he felt that there might be a destroyer carcass in that carcass alley there. So this is the picture. It's I mean, I don't even know what part of the trailer this is. You really have to dig into the trailer to find this. But this was the image. It's pretty small, so hopefully you guys can make it out. So like that's the destroyer horn right there. And this is like the back of his head, and you know. And my thing is I mean, I know we're all thirsty for more information. We're all thirsty to know as much as possible. Do we really think for even one moment that Legendary would buy the rights to Destroyer and then show him in a boneyard off maybe somewhere in the corner? I mean, is that really where we are right now? And that's why I titled tonight's stream Diving Headfirst into a Puddle, because everybody wants to do a deep dive, but there's nothing deep right now. It's in a puddle. Now, we do love doing speculation, but I want to keep the speculation within the realms of what we have and then go a little bit beyond. Yeah, it doesn't make any sense at all. I mean, this is now I also want to give credit, because I thought a good idea for at least one video next week would be to everybody to give me their hot takes, and I'm going to take the best ones and highlight them. And I don't mean that in an attempt to roast people, but some of the hot takes responses that I have gotten have been actually fairly good. So that's going to be a very positive video next week. So, all right. Now, I understand that we have some common takes, which are big orangutan, which I don't know. It might very well be an orangutan. Who cares, right? I think a lot of people are taken back with the fact that there doesn't seem to be a Toho monster at the moment. I don't want to 100% rule it out, but it does take a little steam out of some of the theories we've done some time ago. Because if a Toho monster was one of the big bads, I believe we either A, would not have gotten a trailer like this, or B, we would have gotten some sort of indication. With that said, I did make a joke about this, but this is also a possibility, and this is probably as far off the chart as I'm willing to go now. And it's that maybe by some chance, while the lighting doesn't give it away, and maybe by some chance we are looking at a corrupted Kong of some sort, or a Kong that has been I don't know, juiced up, whatever you want to call it. And maybe the early part of the movie is going to be a battle between Godzilla and Kong again, in which this juiced up, enraged Kong wins, but then he gets his mind right. The problem is, and again, that's as far as I'm willing to go, because the counter to that is Kong, can he be corrupted? I mean, you got to take into account the Jaya factor. I don't think I don't, that would kind of sever that connection. And considering that Jaya is basically like a catalyst for Kong to communicate not only with the audience but also with characters, I don't think they're going to jeopardize that by making a corrupt Kong or making him evil. I think it's slim, but that's the best I can come up with if this is not the main villain, because a lot of people are having a hard time accepting this. There's a lot of people that are really trying to drug up on copium right now because they don't, or hopium I should say, because they don't like the idea that a primate could probably be one of the big bads. So Titan Gate. So I you know, there's not really much to go on, but I feel very much inclined. I feel very much inclined this time. Thank you for the subscription, Avant. I feel very
subscribed to the channel.
Thank you. But I feel inclined to take what we're getting as this is it. Simply because considering how much in the past we have, and myself included, not so much over the last couple of years, but I know in the very beginning, like when I started not streaming, but like doing videos and Godzilla and stuff, I'm more inclined to accept what they're giving me now as verbatim, as than just to go and jump off the deep end. You know, because we know what happens. And again, I'm not saying that. I mean, even KDM said there's going to be more than 3 monsters. I think we could all safely assume that that's the case. We're not just going to get these 3. You can't go into the Hollow Earth and just give us Godzilla, Kong, and this new monster. There's no way you could do that. Then what's the point of the Hollow Earth? If this is where the monsters live, if this is the home of the Titans, then we should be seeing other Titans. Even if it's not the normal Titans that we have been seeing. Even if it's new ones at a brief moment. But the fact that I think the idea, this is kind of what I'm having a hard time with. The idea that people don't think that this monster is powerful enough to take them both on. I feel that's being too, that's too heavy an assumption to make right now when you don't know anything about it. You know, there's an old saying, looks can be deceiving. Just because he may look like an orangutan, I personally don't think he's an orangutan either. But just because he looks like one, just because he looks lanky and skinny, does not mean he cannot be devastating. I mean, his eyes are glowing blue, so he obviously has some sort of power that we have no idea about. And it could be very well that he has been consuming Godzilla cells, right? Throughout his lifespan. I said this the other day and I'll say it again. I do think this is the monster that created the Godzilla, the Kong axe. I do believe this is a monster that has killed a Godzilla species before. And in fact, I'm convinced that it is. Because we sure know as hell that Kong didn't make that axe, right? We all know that. Something had to make it. It's gotta be this guy. So if this guy is capable of not only defeating a Godzilla, but ripping his body parts apart, can we honestly sit here and say he's no match? No. People being dumb about that. We have no idea what he's capable of, but no. Monkey Week apparently, yeah. Sometimes long, lanky arms can actually throw harder punches. Well, not only throw harder punches, but they can keep an enemy at a distance. I have a feeling this monster is more than just long, skinny arms. I'm telling you. I mean, he is clearly a Kong species. I mean, his face gives it away. There's no way to deny that. But obviously, there's something else to him. And they've made that abundantly clear without being too, like, without really giving it away. Not now. I'll eat when I'm done. His snout doesn't look like Kong's. You don't think his snout looks like Kong? I don't know. Let's compare. Let's see. Here is. I mean, it ain't that different, dude. What do you? I mean, it ain't that different. Like. I mean, he even has scars on his nose. I mean, how? Like, I don't understand. I mean, if it weren't for the fact that we know it's not Kong, it essentially looks almost just like him. He could be a cannibal that eats Zillas. Well, then he wouldn't be a cannibal. A cannibal would imply that you eat your own. So,
Whoopsie.
you know. I think he'll be at least minimum 20 feet taller than both of them. I can see boogers in his nose. That nose is huge. Yeah. It looks like Gorilla wearing a K mask. I don't think all the bones in the teaser are actually kaiju that this Kong-like individual has killed. Could be sacrifices. Well, they're definitely all kaiju. I mean, they're rather big. Sacrifices? What do you mean sacrifices? Like the kaiju came to him and just said, yo, I love you and here's my life? Like, is that what you're trying to say, or? Most of Godzilla's enemies are bigger. Well, at this point, you have to make them bigger, I would think. I wonder if this dude could have also beaten Ghidorah. He looks like the kind of dude that if he did fight Ghidorah and one of them wouldn't survive to tell the tale. And they're both alive, so I don't think they've even met. I don't think Ghidorah's even ever been to the Hollow Earth. He isn't the one who killed them. Well, I don't know. I mean, they're pretty much implying that he has an empire and looks like a couple of kaiju stepped up to him and he was like, no, go to sleep. I mean, again, taking it at a surface level, I think the implication is this is a bad motherfucker. Rob, here's a good theory I just thought of. What if he had two small Godzilla type monsters like attack dogs, or he could control other animals in the Hollow Earth? I mean, yeah, again, I mean, anything is possible. I don't want to rule anything out. I'm weighing the likelihood of something like that. I would say it's very low because as far as we know, there are no more Godzilla species. But we also thought that there was a more Kong species, but now I'm hearing that even though this is a Kong, he's not a Kong species. He's an orangutan, but that still makes him a primate, and I don't know. Evil Kong has pet dogs, yeah. What do you think of the theory that he can talk? Oh, I don't think who the hell said that? What if he's like a baboon instead of an orangutan? Maybe he was a Kong that made the axe who can also absorb Hollow Earth energy. That's how he makes the axe. I think that's plausible. I think his time in the Hollow, because remember, Kong did not spend a whole hell of a lot of time in the Hollow Earth. And when we met Kong, Skull Island was on the surface and he had been there for a while. And at the time we first met him, he was still young. So I don't think Kong has had the opportunity to absorb any of the radiation from the Hollow Earth. Which is why he's probably one of the few Titans that does not have an innate power. And maybe that innate power is going to awaken in this movie finally. And that's how he becomes King Kong. Yeah, I don't, if they make a giant ass orangutan or any giant ass monster talk, I'm going to be pretty disappointed. So he's a Titan killer? Okay. So you think they made the 1973, so the 1962 Kong, that this is him? Could be. I mean, the color's similar. I'm pretty sure he's not going to be specifically a type of ape one way or the other. I think he's going to, obviously he shares some traits with Kong, but he'll be a different species. That's at least what KDM is saying. There's something else interesting that, actually I'm gonna have to turn off the music to do this. Or, I don't know if I can because it might get the stream taken down, but KDM did mention on his Twitter that if you play the early part of the trailer, like the very beginning, if you pay attention to anything but the music, like apparently there's someone talking or there's a whisper. Now, I didn't play it over and over again in like today. I only played it like once or twice. Couldn't really catch anything. Let me see here. Excuse me. All right, here's the trailer. Let me see. Let me pause this music for a minute. Let me see if we can. Maybe I won't show it. Maybe I'll play it. So he said like the first 5 seconds. So that's what I'm gonna play. I'm not gonna show anything, but I'm gonna play the first 5 seconds. And we'll see if we can hear something. I'll put the volume up a little bit. So let's see here. Okay. Can't really. Yeah, I don't hear anything, to be honest. It kind of sounds like Orca. I do like the creepy dynamic they took. Yeah, the creepy dynamic is really cool. Josh is Kaiju. Hey Rob, what is your thoughts on the new orangutan Titan being able to sign language with Kong and human characters? I don't think that's going to be a thing. Or maybe it is, I don't know, but considering how devastating they're trying to make him appear to be, I don't think he's going to have a whole hell of a lot of time, or he's going to want to spend a hell of a lot of time talking to anyone. So I'm going to say no on that one. Because that would just take away from the threat he represents. Yeah, I couldn't hear anything either, but let's see. Yeah, I mean, I hear a roar and a snarl. I don't hear any whispering or talking. Yeah, I don't know. KDM's little clues have always been so cryptic that after like a while, I just give up. Like a couple of months ago, he was giving like little emoji clues, and I'm like, who's supposed to figure this shit out? Like, and then he doesn't give the answer, so it's like, it could be anything. This thing is probably Slender Man in comparison to Godzilla and Kong. Super tall and whatnot. He'll spend it singing about how he want to be like you. I can see the orangutan trying to get Kong on his side for a small portion of the movie since he might be the only other ape left. I'm going to disagree with that. Because if they're gonna, one thing is if they're gonna represent these like true primates, he's gonna see Kong as a threat. He's gonna want to challenge him. He's not gonna want to make friends. It's more like a fun thing KDM does just to tease us. It's Lanky Kong, the main threat. Has KDM confirmed that? I mean, he hasn't not confirmed it. But I mean, what else do you need? It's in the synopsis. It's in the trailer. I really think people should get off the hopium that there's going to be another big villain other than this. If there turns out to be another big villain, then let it surprise you and have fun with it. But until you get any kind of clue or confirmation, don't let hopium get the best of you. Because I'm telling you right now, I think they're being direct like this for a reason. Because they know people tend to overanalyze and overhope. I think this time they're being pretty clear about what it's going to be about. And I think that's purposeful. Remember, these guys are very, very tuned in to what's going on in Twitter, and they watch YouTube. They pay attention to Twitter. So they know what we talk about. And I can tell you right now, this to me is them saying, this is it, guys. This is it. We're being as direct as possible. If you go off on a limb after this, that's on you. That's the message I'm getting here. Obviously, they're not going to show you everything. I'm sure there's a couple of surprises in there that'll please us. But I think any thought of another villain other than what we're getting right now, I think those thoughts should go away until otherwise proven. So in other words, if you're going to allow leaks to get the best of you, then at least wait till the toy leaks to give you an idea of where it's going. That's really your best bet. I wouldn't rely on other leaks. Like written leaks. I think this is going to be a very, very. If you wanna learn what's gonna happen, if you wanna know who the true villain is, wait till the toy leaks come out, and either A, it'll be exactly as I told you, or B, you'll see a surprise in there that might satisfy you. Until then, I would take what I'm getting as what it's gonna be. What is most likely the villain of the movie? I see exactly. I agree with James there. James says if they were going to hide that there is another main villain, I don't think they would do this trailer that's heavily showing off what is most likely the villain of the movie. I agree with that. The winged Godzilla concept art has had disastrous consequences on the Godzilla fandom. Yeah, any Godzilla fans who are going with that are going to be extraordinarily disappointed. You know, again, it's an art book. I mean, we've had, every movie has had an art book, and we have seen plenty of cool things in the art book that are there because they're just concept. I mean, like the Gigan. Remember was it Godzilla King of the Monsters art book that had the like Gigan in it? very cool. For some reason, nobody was fooled that he was going to be in a movie. So I don't know why people are grasping at this one. I don't know what it is about that image, but people are like they're really hanging on to that. And I just don't understand, because that hasn't happened before. That hasn't happened with the prior art books. Nobody has really seen stuff in the other art books and hung on to it like this one. I don't know why. I don't know why. It puzzles me. It's exciting for it to be an original kaiju. They should save Destroyer for the end game. And that's even if we're going to get him. You know, I think, do you think Kong or Godzilla will be the first to encounter this ape kaiju? And if this thing is strong enough to face both of them and Kong meets this kaiju first, then I wonder how Kong's going to survive. Because 12 years old. He'll escape somehow. I'm sure he'll get out of it. Or he might get his ass kicked. And he has to go back and lick his wounds. You know? I don't think it'll be a matter of him running into it. I think this thing somehow, some way is going to wake up. Probably because he senses Kong's presence. If he's anything like Godzilla in the sense of a major alpha, then he's going to know that there is another alpha in his territory, which would be Kong. And for all we know, when he wakes up, he can see how different things are. He can see that there's life on the surface and that there's more to rule. And he might just surface and start ripping up the world. And then Kong and Godzilla got to be like, all right, we need to come together on this one. Yeah, this definitely ain't no King Caesar. Not at all. He doesn't even have ears like King Caesar. Like, this is clearly a primate, okay? I mean, there's no... He's not a gargantua. We went through that already. I'm shocked over how many people are saying it's King Caesar. Come on. Yeah, I mean, it's just, you know... This happens. I mean, I've been doing this for 10 years and this always happens. There's no failure. Even when the most obvious things are in front of you, you know, you can't escape it. I think there will be two villains. Personally, you'll get a Godzilla villain and the Kong will get a villain to fight. I mean, yeah, I guess, again, it's still a possibility. All right, stop spamming your thing before I block you. I mean, I appreciate the membership, but you're spamming the top. So, please stop. And you're not listening. And you're still spamming it. Okay. Rob, what's your thoughts on Kong trying to communicate with him and the orangutan through or slaps Kong out of the way? I don't really know how to give a thought on that. That's such a random thought. I don't even think that's gonna happen. Like, I don't even know if it's an orangutan. I mean, I know that's what people are calling it, but I kind of don't want to call it that right now. The villain we see in the teaser is clearly Gamera. Yeah, obviously. There are so many people trying to grasp at straws. I can't believe how many people think it's Space Godzilla in disguise. There are really people who think that? Oh, that's sad. Maybe it's my fault. Even though I made a meme thumbnail the other day, I looked at it and said, some people might take that seriously. Rob, I'm not sure if we already talked about it, but what do you hope to see for the new Toho Godzilla film? a nice Godzilla design, a good story. I mean, they are kind of rebooting it, so that's always real touchy, considering that they're rebooting the original essentially, or kind of trying to retell the story. So hopefully they do a good job. I mean, at least that's what I've heard. You know, it could be something completely different, but I think both Kong and the Ape Titan will throw their own poop at each other. Lanky Kong is this Makani Kong in disguise, let's be real. Yeah, I'm inclined to believe that if they didn't put Mechagodzilla in disguise like I had hoped they would, they probably won't do it for this one either. Or maybe this is the first time they did. This is the one time they'll do it. But considering the synopsis is saying a colossal ancient creature, yeah, it's probably not Makani Kong. I think Kong will fight him first. Then when he's about to kill Kong, you'll see an atomic breath hit him. And then the camera will pan out to show Godzilla. And then he will join the fight. That sounds too obvious. Like, that sounds like something that they wrote first. And they said, nah, people are going to be expecting that. Let's do something different. You're getting nearly 4 times your average viewers. Actually, more like 3 times. Exactly 3 times, actually. Yeah, I mean, I don't care about that. Rob, how do you think or guess Godzilla will fit into this plot-wise? I feel Godzilla will have less screen time and they blueprint Godzilla vs. Kong in that fashion. Well, I'm okay with Godzilla getting less screen time. That doesn't bother me as long as he's in the movie and he's in the fights. That's all I care about. You can't be heavy-handed with Godzilla on screen anyway. He can't tap into the audience like Kong can. That's why Kong led the last movie. That's why Kong's gonna lead this movie. The reason I think Godzilla will show up, well, I mean, it's another alpha popping up. I think Godzilla is gonna be very familiar with that presence, and he's gonna want to go down and do something about it. I think that's pretty clear. I mean, that's his behavior. That's what he's shown before. This new monster is clearly an alpha. So, and he's going to probably disperse a much different energy this time. What do you think of the idea of this new monster potentially having an army of other monsters that some people have come up with? Yeah, I think that's wishful thinking. I mean, if you want to make him a singular threat, you can't give him an army. Plus, does he look like the guy that keeps company? I mean, look at this. This is, again, I think the trailer is pretty clear. Does he look like he's keeping an army? I don't think he keeps a lot of company based on this image right here. I don't think he's keeping a lot of company. I'm looking for the destroyer head. Looks like he ate his army. Maybe the scene that happens is in Brazil is that the monster and Behemoth is that this monster and Behemoth are fighting. Yeah, I mean, maybe, but I'm kind of willing. I do think he will kill one of the other Titans. You got to kind of establish his dominance. So yeah, maybe that is. Although I just think that's one of the monsters coming to the surface. There's some human corpses in there. Really? Where? I can't see them amongst the giant carcasses. that represent the kaiju. I want to see this guy have a sword made out of Godzilla's spine. I think that's something that would make him unique, a unique threat. How he uses his intelligence and potential tools against the two. I think that would be cool too, but based on his eye color, something tells me he's not going to need any tools. Maybe that's it. Kong meets the orange one. They get along. Maybe they communicate through sign. Godzilla shows up. Him and Kong duke it out. And then the orange one betrays Kong. Oh, so you think this is WWE? Like, that sounds like a wrestling match. Like two guys that get along. One guy shows up. The other two get into a fight. And then the other guy comes out of nowhere and gives the other one a Stone Cold Stunner. That just sounds like a wrestling idea. I see a 1,000-foot Elsa skeleton. Oh, that would disappoint me. Someone in a Discord server and said it's Kong from 62 back with his lightning powers to dethrone the Axe Kong and throw Godzilla into the water and swim away again. Well, he does have the same color scheme, so at least they're on the right track. Do you think he could be a full-on Kongzilla, a species of Kong who can use the atomic breath? No, I think he is an ape-type species, not necessarily a Kong, and he has powers like other Titans do because of all the radiation he has taken in. You got to remember, Kong is the only monster, pretty much, that doesn't have some sort of power or some sort of effect on his surroundings in terms of helping their surroundings grow like some of the other Titans. And I think the reason for that is because Kong spent all his time on Skull Island, which was above the Hollow Earth until it recently sunk. So, and we are going to get more clues about Skull Island in this movie, according to the synopsis. So there is a chance you might see Camazotz, even if briefly. I do think this new foe potentially might have 62 Kong lightning-like powers. Yeah, it might. Space Godzilla is mind controlling this Kong. Yeah. Maybe this Ape Titan turns into the Colossal Titan, like Monster X into Kaiser Ghidorah. No, I just think he is the Colossal Titan out the gate. I don't think there's going to be any of that transformation shit. Boy, it's a shadow. Is that what I'm supposed to look at? The shadow? The little human shadow? I guess this is what he was telling me to... There's like a little shadow in there. It looks like somebody put that there. I don't know. Still waiting on that World Serpent monster they teased. Oh, he's coming. He's coming. You'll wait and see. Lanky Kong, Space Godzilla, and the World Serpent's new empire. Yeah. Way too big for a human. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's not even a carcass. It just looks like I don't know. I don't know. I think it's a shadow of a bone, and then maybe it's a shape. Like, I guess what's your point with this picture is what I'm asking. Because, some of you guys never give context. You're like, Rob, Twitter. And then I check Twitter and it's this. And it's like, okay, what am I looking at? Like, so at least give me some context if you're going to interrupt my stream wanting me to look at Twitter. It's like, all right. There's a new plot synopsis. Okay, where's the synopsis coming from? It's a training dummy. Yeah, I saw your first post, nerd. Don't. Oh, Jesus. Relax. You don't got to caps it. I read you the first time. We all need to calm down. We have a long way to go. Don't blow your load in one stream. All right, this movie's still a little less than a year away. Maybe there were the Hollow Earth humans or a giant. Is that what you're? I mean, again, it's not a lot to go on. It's not even a skeleton. It's a shadow, which I guess my initial reaction to this would be it's a shadow of one of the bones, and it just happens to look like a human upper torso. It's not really a whole lot to go on. We can't. I mean, I guess you guys can. I'm just not really going to draw straws on, like, reach for anything I can on a 35-second trailer. You know what I mean? It's hard. It's hard. I mean, I know a lot of you guys want to do this, and I get it. I don't see anything other than what's obviously right there in front of me. I don't think the synopsis is new. I think it's just the same thing that was in the description of this video. So why is he saying it's new? Because we've gone over this. And if you're gonna make an argument that there's a new plot synopsis, can you at least tell me where to find it? Because if you're talking about the one on the video, or if you're talking about the one on the wiki, we've gone through those already numerous times. So, Rob, what if Kong is going to narrow down to how to beat the other Kong? What if Kong is going to narrow down how to beat the other Kong? I don't understand the question. Like, what do you mean? Keep your dick in your pants, guys. We have a long ways to go. Relax. I tagged you in it on the nation. All right, hold on. Nope. So why wouldn't you tell me that the first time rather than just caps all, there's a new synopsis? Come on, guys. Help me help you. All right, here it is. New Godzilla X Kong plot summary. The New Empire is a thrilling fifth film in the MonsterVerse series and sees the legendary Titans. We read this already. Yeah, this is not new. Depths of the brave new world of spectacular new monsters, heroic adventures, and awe-inspiring set pieces. Yeah, this is nothing new here. Yeah, there's nothing new there. So I appreciate it, but yeah, we've gone through that already. On Wednesday. The only really thing that the synopsis has not changed. The only thing that's changed is that they added like one sentence, which all that does is give more context to the fact that Godzilla and Kong are probably going to have a little small rematch. Nothing too big, but they're probably going to have another fight. So, yeah. Some of y'all never learn. Yeah, look, guys, I know I don't do a lot of videos. I know that I'm in and out a lot. But, I mean, if there's one thing I'm going to try and stay on top of is the Godzilla stuff. Because I know that's why people come here for. That's why you don't see me really doing videos on anything else anymore. Because, I mean, is it worth for me to, like, watch a couple of episodes of a show, put in the time to do a review, and only 10 people are going to watch it? You know what I mean? I kind of know where my bread is buttered, so I'm just going to stick to that. And up until Wednesday, there was nothing really to talk about, which is why there really hasn't been much content. Other than that and the fact that I've just been super busy with work. That was the first time you seen it? Yeah. Yeah, I've told this to people for years. Usually the best bet is if you've just seen something for the first time, usually the best bet is I've already seen it. Unless something new comes down at like 3 a.m, because I'd be asleep, chances are I've seen it already. My need might narrow down is how to beat the other Kong. Like, Kong will find or make something that the other Kong has to use against other Kong or something like that. In other words, he's gonna figure out a way to beat him. Yeah, I think that'll be something that happens mid-fight, kind of like the Mechagodzilla fight. I don't think it's like he's gonna go into a cave and start mapping out how to beat the monster. I don't think you're gonna get that. Him and Godzilla will figure out a way to win, and they'll probably figure it out during the fight itself. I'll be honest, some of these theories make me feel we're dealing with a lot of kids going ham with their crayons. I wish that were true. It's actually not often. Sometimes it is. And in most cases that is how it works. But you'd be surprised. Sometimes you get so excited. I mean, it happened to me back in the day. I used to get like that. I get so excited I couldn't tell New York City from Las Vegas, right? I'm sure some of us remember that. So it does happen. Kong is Batman. Give Kong prep time. I wouldn't be surprised if Godzilla doesn't show up until the final act. It's going to be a Kong movie for the most part. It's gonna run like Godzilla vs. Kong. You're not gonna not see Godzilla during the movie, but the bulk of what you get Godzilla wise will probably be in the final act. Yes. Kong with prep time can solo the Monsterverse? Maybe. Here's what I think. I think we're going to find out that this ancient colossal threat, while not a direct species of Kong, was part of a species that were on amicable terms with the Kong species. And this particular monster is an outlier and was a turncoat and destroyed his own clan. But in turn, we're going to find out that it wasn't the Skullcrawlers that killed all the Kongs. It was this guy. And what's going to happen is Kong's going to learn about that in this movie. He's going to go and want to go after this guy. He's going to get his head stomped in. And that's where Godzilla is going to come in to fill the void. Godzilla is going to recognize this monster or learn or know that this monster is also very capable of killing the Godzilla species. And that the only thing that stopped it were a Godzilla before this one and another Kong, maybe one of Kong's parents. I have a feeling that's what the story is going to be. Is that while the Skullcrawlers were a great threat, it wasn't the Skullcrawlers that destroyed the Kongs. It was this guy. That's as deep as I can get with what we've been given. Because this monster apparently does have a history. And the reason he has blue eyes, or the reason he might have some sort of power, is not only because he's been in the Hollow Earth for so long, but I think also his ability to destroy and possibly consume Gojira powers. Probably was the instigator of the Great Titan. He's probably a Titan killer. I don't like how everyone has to be Godzilla's ancient rival. They did it with Ghidorah, the Mutos, and Kong. I hope this is someone Godzilla's never seen before. Well, I think this would lean more towards Kong's ancient rival, and Godzilla is just part of that. I think it's pretty obvious this is not a Godzilla villain this time around. This is a Kong villain. And just like Kong helped Godzilla defeat his counterpart, Godzilla's going to help him defeat his. This new ape is the Joker of the Monsterverse. Rob, I like your idea. Hopefully that is what we get in the movie. And that's as far as I can speculate at the moment. Like, that was what I thought to myself. I said, well, maybe it's... Because, you know, if you really think about the skull crawlers, and when you see how... I mean, think about them now. I mean, if the Kong species actually grew to as big a size as Kong is now, how could they get eradicated by such a minuscule species like the skull crawlers? Not to say the skull crawlers don't get that big. They obviously they're a lot bigger as well, but they just don't seem smart enough to take out the Kong species. I have a feeling this guy is the catalyst of that. And that history somewhere along the line was lost.
You are one awesome motherfucker. Wabba Dubba Bitch tipped $5. Look, between the two apes it's going to be a giant dick waving competition to see who's got the bigger cock, and that will settle the fight.
Or
Big
it could be
dick
that.
Theory in play.
Or it could be that, I guess. Maybe Kaiser. That's possible. Who knows? Maybe this ape suck all the souls of the kaiju he killed and get stronger from absorbing their... Yeah, he could be a radiation freak. And he just wants to consume all the radiation that all the Titans have. They all have some sort of radiation that affects their like, you know, their anatomy. You know, Godzilla's atomic breath. You know, some of the other Titans can restore life, like wildlife or plant life, you know, and shit like that. Maybe this monster brought the skull crawlers with him to Skull Island to help him eradicate. Yeah. I mean, he wouldn't do it all himself. That's true. He was probably like the you know, like a surprise attack or caught him off guard. But I think he definitely plays a role in the Kong species being nearly wiped out. Oh, there you go, James. Yep. Probably betrayed his kind by working with the natural enemies. That's probably how the Kong species died out. You a little disappointed that this foe is an ape-like Titan? No, not at all. I'm kind of glad they went with their own. I'm kind of glad they went a different route. It's not that I'm tired of seeing Toho monsters and I don't want to see Toho monsters, but it does at least show some original thought. You know, I mean, it's still a primate, so, you know. All right, maybe that's not him doing that. That'd be funny if it just keeps... You might want to check your account and make sure that's not... all those 10s aren't coming along. If it's not you doing that. Remember when Mothra was meant to be the Joker of the Monsterverse? I've heard 2 people say this bootleg 62 Kong is gonna be the Joker. We already got the Joker, Ghidorah, Mechagodzilla. We need. I mean, I don't really see it that way. I don't see any of them as Batman villains. I don't know why anyone would. The only thing I remember about anything being Joker related was that. Who was it that said their villain was supposed to be like the Joker? I don't know. I mean, I don't know. I can't view it that way. In a weird way, I'm disappointed we got this so early. So far out from the release, I want more now. Yeah, well, you gotta have to wait. There's nothing new to that. That's how it's been since the inception of this universe. It definitely shows creativity on their part. Plus, this guy's much cheaper than a Toho monster brought in. All they did was get Kong's model and then modify it. Smarter on their part. Yeah, exactly. And it's like I said the other night. You have a franchise that is profitable, is successful, but they're not exactly a cash cow. So if they want to keep making movies, if they want to keep entertaining, they gotta reel in the cost. If this movie happened to be a little bit cheaper than the last movie and it makes more money, then that's a big win. They can't just rely on Toho Kaiju for their villains. That's true. And another thing, if you want to look at the silver lining, guys, take it as maybe they do have plans for one of the Toho monsters being the final villain. And this is their way of saying we still have other movies in the pipe. We're not ready to bring those monsters over yet. Because, I mean, yeah, I would love to see like, obviously, like a destroyer be like the final villain, but
Kelly Oman sponsored the channel.
Thank you for the sponsorship, Kelly. Gigantosaurus is in Dominion is like the Joker, yeah. I really hope we see Behemoth again and definitely more new monster designs. I think you'll definitely get cameos of other monsters. You might even get a scene where this new monster utterly decimates one of the other titans, like Methuselah or Behemoth. I'd love a third movie as a full trilogy. You mean a Godzilla Kong trilogy? Yeah, you might get that. Do you think they'd make Destroyer actually a tough monster? Well, they made Ghidorah a tough monster. As much as I love Ghidorah, go back and look at his Toho movies. He absolutely gets decimated every time. And then when he finally did face Godzilla one-on-one, Godzilla blew his head off. People had to go travel through time to reconstruct his body to fight Godzilla again and still lose. Where this Ghidorah had to be distracted by an orca just to save Godzilla. So yeah, I think they'd make Destroyer pretty tough. You want 3 more after this one? I think that's a tall order. That, and you're gonna have critics say stupid crap like why a monkey that looks like Kong is fighting Kong. Pretty much one of the stupid criticisms they'll say. Bro, doesn't this Kong literally have Joker makeup? Well, I don't know if literally is the right word. Joker wears white paint with red lipstick. This guy appears to have red paint on some parts of his face. So in terms of literal, no, it's not even close. But we don't know if that's actually paint. It could just be, when people play with the pictures and stuff like that, I mean, it looks like paint, But until we see the movie, we won't know for sure. I mean, why waste a Toho monster when you're not sure if you will do more films? I have an idea that Toho monsters are brought in when they believe it may be the last film. Face paint doesn't equal Joker. Face paint has different meanings, right? I mean, there's a lot of baseball players who wear black paint under their eye, right? Genghis Khan. Maybe it's blood. That would imply that we're going to see like blood in the movie. And if we do see blood in the movie, it's not going to be red. Gotta remember, this is still a kid-focused series. They still want to sell toys. You're not going to get violence in this. You'll get monster violence, and with monster violence, you can get away with showing different colored blood, like green or yellow. But the minute it's red, R-rated. Rob High, was it a family member of Kong's that turned evil? Well, that's just a theory of mine. And no, it wouldn't be a Kong family member. It would be this monster who, from what I understand, while it looks like a Kong, it's not exactly a Kong species. It's obviously a primate, but probably a faction that the Kongs historically got along with. And maybe this was an outlier who caused destruction and killed, probably because of radiation, corrupting it, taking in the kind of radiation that makes his eyes glow and made him stronger, more powerful, and violent, kind of like PEDs, you know, like steroids. I mean, I know that sounds stupid, but that's the best way I could explain it. Let's be honest, Rodan ain't in the movie. No, he's not. Yeah, somebody posted a video because somebody highlighted this on yeah, this is stupid. Somebody highlighted this on The Nation that there was somebody out there who posted a video basically highlighting a certain point in the music that sounded similar to the Rodan theme when he was flying through the air and chasing the Argo. And he used that as evidence that could Rodan be in a movie. And I watched that and I'm like, oh, Jesus. The only thing I'm worried about is the soundtrack. I hope Junkie does it a little better. Well, what do you expect from a guy named Junkie? I hope Godzilla kicks its ass in the movie. Well, him and Kong will both kick its ass, but they're both going to get their asses kicked first. I can guarantee you that. Yeah, Rodan confirmed, right? Has KDM revealed what his lanky Kong's actual name? No, he's not going to reveal that. All he said was that it's...
You are one awesome motherfucker.
It's not a Kong species. It's another species, orangutan-like, is what he said. But,
Bobby Reynolds super chatted $20. Godzilla cuts this big bad monster head off. Destroyer stomp on the monster head and crushes it. Space Godzilla said, I told you. He would failed. Destroyer said, yes you did well, stop at nothing until anti-live is found.
I'm not sure what to make of that. But I appreciate the $20. And I appreciate the humor. It's King Louis no matter what they say. An ancient Kong already already beat Godzilla in Dominion. Planet of the Apes all over again, but with Godzilla. How is it Planet of the Apes? It's only 2 primates. Kong and this guy. Something seems to be up with YouTube super chats cause it spams. Yeah, I noticed that. I thought somebody was doing it before, but apparently it's... I hope it's not actually like re-spamming their donos. You guys better check your account and make sure it's just $20 you donated and not like 80. Like a whole tweet. Yeah, it's just gonna be. I really do think early assessment on my part is this is the guy that was obviously the ancient threat. We all know that, but also I think he's going to be the cause of the Kong species dying out, and I think that's where the rivalry from him and Kong are going to stem from. And I think Godzilla's there to repay the favor, to help Kong. Could see the villain having a small family that he feels is threatened, so he attacks Kong in the Hollow Earth. God, I hope not. I don't want any kitty monsters. Ugh. Asian Yeti isn't fully a North American Sasquatch. Yeah. What if this new Kong is gay and he's trying to stick his stick in Kong, but Kong says no?
Come on, man.
I'd almost rather you say that Kamacuras is in the movie. You think Godzilla and Kong will rematch over Kong reclaiming the axe for this fight? No, I don't think Godzilla's gonna give a shit as long as he doesn't try to wield the axe against him. But Godzilla don't give a shit about that axe. I mean, Kong shoved it in his thigh and Godzilla tossed it like a piece of candy and kept going. So no. If there's kitty monsters in the flashback, I can tolerate that. But if I see kitty monsters and they're here to stay, I'm gonna be upset. Are we sure that the monster in the trailer isn't just a sinister looking Kong? So I did discuss that earlier. Like if that's like an enraged Kong, like if something happened while he was down there that turned the tide. But I don't think so, because that kind of steps on the toe between the relationship him and Jaya have. And I guess the other question is, what would cause him to kill so many different monsters down there that he's sitting on a throne of carcasses? The axe was a twig for Godzilla, yeah. The axe is more as a defensive weapon for Kong than offensive. I mean, yeah, he can hit Godzilla with it, but it was more to block his atomic breath. They had to give him a tool to do that because there's no way. But this is my other point in terms of why I think Kong is probably underpowered in this series when you compare him to all the other Titans. See, all the other Titans can take an atomic breath hit. He can't, because he was never in the Hollow Earth long enough to take in all the powers, all the radiation it has to offer. Which kind of makes Kong pretty strong, because if you think about it, even without any special powers, I mean, he can still beat most of the Titans. Yeah, he did. He did. Actually, what's more amazing is he knocked him out with the axe, but he didn't leave a scar. Like, he did hit him square in the nose with the axe and nothing happened. Like, it's not like he split his head open, which I thought was pretty weird. But, you know, it's Godzilla. That's the excuse. Wars 2 will have all the answers. Just give it this weight, guys. Yeah. I feel like if King of the Monsters had made more money, we would be seeing more Toho monsters in these movies. Well, I mean, how much more do you want to see? You just got Mechagodzilla last movie. It's not like we've gone 5 movies without a Toho monster. And we still don't know if there's no Toho monsters in this movie or not. You know what I mean? So I don't know. I don't think that's really an accurate description or an accurate criticism. I mean, there have been Toho monsters in every Godzilla movie after the first one. Except so far for this one. Do you think Kong will get a power-up at the end of the movie? No, I think he'll get a power-up during the fight. I think he'll have like some sort of berserker power-up where he just gets completely enraged and, you know what I mean? You think Kong could develop a new power in this movie because of the time he spent in the Hollow Earth now? Yeah, well, just going to echo what I said to the other guy's question. Yeah, I do think he'll have a power in this movie. Which is why I think he's going to beat Godzilla in a rematch. Not because he's going to be more powerful than Godzilla. Rather, he's going to surprise Godzilla with this new power. I really do think they're definitely going to have another fight, and I do think Godzilla is going to lose this one. It's not going to be a direct loss, though. It's not going to be the kind of loss where he steps on Godzilla's chest or anything like that. It's going to be the kind of loss where the fight had to stop and Kong just happened to be the last one standing. They're going to try and make it a little bit obscure, but not so obscure. Godzilla deserves the kill in this movie since Kong killed Mechagodzilla. I mean, I don't know if deserve is the right word. You could say I prefer him to get the kill, but I don't really give a shit who kills the monster. But now that we see what the villain is and what potentially the storyline could be, it wouldn't make sense for Godzilla to kill him. I think Godzilla's going to have a better fighting performance. I think he'll put up a better fight against it than Kong will. But I think ultimately Kong will get the kill. I have a feeling this monster is going to be the one that gives Kong his king title. And if that's the case, and I believe it is, then Kong's got to get the kill. It never hit his head. It exploded right before that. So it's even more amazing that he wasn't left with a scar. And that should be minimum. Yeah, Mechagodzilla fucking destroyed Godzilla in that last one. That was painful to watch. Yeah, but at the time they made the first Kong Skull Island movie, they were still with Warner Brothers. They're not with Warner Brothers anymore. They are with Universal. And I'm more than sure that with the success of the MonsterVerse, Universal probably wanted to stop the title on him. So I think this is going to be the movie dedicated to giving him that title. That's my theory. Kong and Godzilla sometimes friends fight. I think Kong and the new monster will team up against Godzilla first because Godzilla enters the Hollow Earth, then realize that this other Kong is crazy and works with Godzilla to stop him. Godzilla doesn't strike me as the kind of monster that would trust Kong to team up with him against the other one. Godzilla's likely then to just try and take them both out, even if Kong is trying to team with him. So I don't know. It's a good theory, though. Do we know how much time has passed between... I'm pretty sure we'll find that out later. I don't think right now we know. Yeah, Universal does own the name of King Kong. But Legendary is with Universal now, is what I'm saying. And I'm sure Universal wants a piece of that action. So they're going to want this Kong to... Although, who knows? I don't know, because now Disney's making a King Kong show. Oh my God, what if this Kong is dubbed King Kong, and this King Kong will be in the Disney Plus show? Oh my God, no. Yeah. You think the money shot in the official trailer when that comes out will show Godzilla and Kong leaping into zero gravity? Hold on, let me scroll up and read that. Leaping into zero gravity, part of the hollow earth toward the villain. On some like buddy cop scene? I don't know, man. That's... I don't know. I hope not. That's kind of corny. Into the Kongverse is right in this movie because they made him so hardcore they can't leave him out. They're not going to leave Godzilla out in this movie. He's in the movie. It says Godzilla and Kong. All right, so that's like the fourth post, Kaiser. I've seen you mention AIDS. Is there an obsession, or is there something you want to tell us? Is there, I don't know. Are you feeling a little weak in the immune system? Something you want to share? His name is at the beginning of the title. That should tell you he's in the movie. If Kong wins the rematch, I'll be 2-1 Kong because 62 was his win. Yeah, I mean, whatever helps you sleep at night. It's like, I'm not going to get into that debate. It is what it is. You're only as good as your last match, I guess. And last match, we saw Godzilla win, so... I think the Great Red Ape Power is being very intelligent, and he's the one who made the axe, because Kong don't look like he have the intellect to create the axe. Well, he didn't create the axe. I mean, this... all you gotta do is watch Godzilla versus Kong, and you see Kong pick up the axe. Clearly, it was made for him, or it was already made before, so... yeah. And I did mention that already about half hour ago. That I'm pretty certain this one made the axe. How's it going? Head first into a puddle indeed. Yep. Actually, no. With these days medication, you can pretty much live with HIV for the rest of your life. So don't worry about it. Don't let it stress you out. It just means that you're not gonna have sex for the rest of your life. That's all. But how's that any different than now?
You are one awesome motherfucker. The Fenris Wolf tipped $5. The Forsaken Kong will kidnap Jar and Congos. You don't mess with my family.
Oh God, the Vin Diesel, huh? Thanks for the 5, Big Bad. Family. Cause I'm always dumping.
Cause I'm always thumping.
I've heard that in a while. I bet you the new ape is just going to be Kaiju Gorilla Grodd, or he's going to have lightning or atomic powers. I'm leaning towards atomic powers because of his eyes. Intelligence will be there already. I don't think that's going to be a special power. I think that's just going to be something he has. I would say he's going to have more experience than Kong for sure. So that might make him appear more intelligent, but I just think it's going to be battle experience. Kong doesn't have a whole hell of a lot of it. All we need is a Fast and Furious crossover with the Monsterverse. Rob, what if at the end of the movie, after Godzilla and Kong win, Godzilla leaves the new Titan's fate in Kong's hands if he lives or dies? It's not going to matter. Kong's not going to do anything to them. As Kong, for the most part, only fights when he has to. He's fairly the kind of kaiju that just wants you to leave him the fuck alone. That would be corny. Yeah, I think his sign language will improve from the last movie to this one. I think that's a distinct possibility. We speculating the ending already? I know. I said head first into a puddle. All right, 5 more minutes. Then I'm out of here. Hey, Rob, can we do a marathon the night before the new movie comes out at midnight? Well, it's not going to be on streaming service. So it's going to be exclusively in theaters. So I don't think we'll be able to do a marathon. Because, I have to get to the theater on time to watch it. Plus, sitting down on this for a long period of time is not good for my blood flow. I did it when we did the Diablo stream, and it was very uncomfortable to try and walk after that. I got up out of my chair. I was like, holy shit. These young streamers can do that for 10 hours. I can't. But yeah, we'll definitely deep dive more. What's the plan for tomorrow? I was just gonna say we'll definitely deep dive more into this. I know you guys want to continue talking about it, and I didn't want to not do a stream tonight because Friday nights are usually a pretty fun night. But I do want to watch the Knicks, and they start in 5 minutes. So, but we'll definitely continue more in the discussion tomorrow. I kind of want to get into more of where the show is gonna go. Now that we know that the show is going to directly tie to the movie, I definitely want to kind of deep dive on that because at least we know a little bit more about the show. Well, mainly the cast members, but I do think we're going to start getting more information on the show coming up in the coming weeks and months. So it could be very well that we get some of these answers to the movie when the show comes out. Yeah. But yeah, so tomorrow Latest we'll start is probably 7. The earliest we'll probably start is 5. So just keep an eye on Twitter for that. For those of you who are new here, I'm Twitter at E.T.N Rob. So if you want to keep up with when the streams come out, you can follow me on Twitter there, or you can sub to the channel, which a lot of you guys have been doing. So I appreciate that. And yeah, we'll talk more about it, and we'll talk about the show and how it relates to the movie, and we'll see if any information comes up between now and tomorrow, because that's always a possibility. But otherwise, you guys have a good Friday night, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. All right, guys, have a good one. Peace.